A little anxious. That's normal.
I'm anxious, which I accept as normal. I'm looking at you not being in the plane, and I'm doing my round, which is my takeoff. I've got that nailed. I'm glancing down and very aware of my airspeed and coming up and watching the plane, and I'm watching my banks and turns and not letting my airspeed get too slow. So all these things that would worry me are there. I'm fairly aware of my traffic and my radio calls. I'm very aware of my base, my pitch. On the first set of flaps, I was getting a little screwy. I can actually get my pattern a little higher by pitching up a little more to get my airspeed down. I will fix that this time around. Base, it'll leave me a little bit higher. And then final, the only mistake I felt I had then, or I know I had, was I need a little wiggle always on that, whether there's crosswind or no crosswind, just to really feel I've got this plane parallel with the runway when I want it to be.
You bet.
When I landed, I got that all under control.
I like doing that. Wahoo traffic, Cessna 85 Lima, crossing runway 13, Wahoo. So I can stop here, get out and watch, or we can go down here and you keep flying with me in here.
I'm okay.
Okay, so a couple of things. The airplane will lift off quicker without my 180 pounds in here. And it wants to pitch up a little faster. That's okay, you can let it, just like you've been doing all along. Rotate at 55, climb out at 76. And it doesn't matter if the pitch feels different, and it will. You got the controls?
I have the controls.
You got them. Just fly your speeds. Same thing when you're coming into land. 75, 70, 65. Bring a little power out in the fin. It'll, especially on the first takeoff, you're going to think, whoa, this plane's really got a little zip to it, because 180 pounds, I'm almost 1/5 of the useful load of the plane.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed the first time I soloed an airplane is how loud the plane sounded, and every little squeak and noise and thing scared the crap out of me when I was climbing out. That's natural. You're just anxious. Yep. Okay? My advice would be, so keep making your calls exactly how you've been making them. Just downwind, base, and final. That's all you need to say.
Yep.
My advice would be to add in, so that everybody here kind of understands that you're now up there without me.
Yep.
Cessna 85 Lima, student pilot.
Yep.
And everybody will be just this much more helpful.
Yep.
And I wouldn't say anybody's being difficult with us at all.
No, they're good. They're used to us.
But if you just toss in Cessna 85 Lima, student pilot, kind of explains to everybody, they know what's going on.
Delta departing runway 02 to the west.
If you got some traffic coming in and you're not sure how to deal with them, say to them, Wahoo traffic, Cessna 85 Lima, student pilot on first solo. And then just tell them what you want to do and do it.
They'll get out of the way.
They'll get out of your way.
They'll remember. Might be a long time ago, but they'll remember.
So, I want you to do 3 full stop landings. So, come around the pattern, land, roll out wherever you can get off the runway, clean up your plane, taxi back, before takeoff briefing, go again. I'm going to be right here. If you, so above all else, fly your airplane.
Yep.
Okay. And if you go around once or twice and you're like, nope, I got a question, or I'm not happy with this, just stop here and visit
I was going to say that to you. Yeah,
yep.
For sure.
But the plan is to just go around 3 times. What else? Oh, when you get finished, if this plane is still here, just come around right here and park where right next to him, almost right here, just facing that way.
Yep.
We'll
fuel up.
We'll just shut it down right there.
Yep.
Because the plane's going to stay up here anyway. They're going to look at something on it later.
Okay.
Questions for me?
No, it was going to be, look, if I don't feel right, I'll come back in after the first go around. But of course, that's
or second or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to grab my stuff.
Okay.
So you don't need to do a full run up down here. Just go through your pre-takeoff checklist like you would if I was here. Just fly it as if I'm here, and that anxiety will go away once you get into the mix of it.
Yeah.
You'll just realize I'm too busy flying to worry about everything
I'll
else.
do my stuff, and I'll pretend you're still there. We need an inflatable Pat doll to be sitting there.
One more thing. Have fun.
Thanks, Pat. I think I got these nailed today. That's at 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Knowing my luck, it'll run out just before I take off, but if it does, too bad. And I think that one's working. Yeah. I've actually got these things working today. It could be cool. I've got my feet on the brake so I don't run you over. That's important.
Catch the door.
Okay, I'm up for my first solo, which means I just follow everything exactly as it's normally done. Traffic could bother me a bit, but I will head out. I'm going to treat it as if Pat's next to me, because I think that'll reduce the anxiety. I know my stuff, my landings are getting better. There's no reason I just can't do this and nail it. I know what my winds are doing there. You've really got to know your crosswinds and what's going on. And checklists, I'm a really big believer in checklists. So what I'm going to do is stop here, exactly as I do with Pat. I'm going to get my checklist, which is actually sitting in front of me right here now. I'm going to do a normal takeoff, which is mixture now is full rich, carb heat is off, flaps are up, oil temperature and pressure are in the green. I'm going to call my radio and then take off. I'll make sure there's no traffic around me, even though they would have called on the radio. You can't guarantee that. Some planes have got no radio. Wahoo traffic, student pilot, Cessna 385 Lima, taking off for departure from runway 02 Wahoo. Okay, so I find the middle of the runway. Once I'm comfortable there, I slowly ease full power in. I've got my oil pressure is up like it should be at 55 knots. Plane comes off the runway, and as Pat warned me, it's behaving a little differently because it wants to jump up into the air. I'm going to be at 76 knots, climbing out on a heading of approximately 02. Pretty much in line with the runway. What we've got to do is look ahead of ourselves and find something out there to aim at, because the plane's got a little bit of a crosswind, and I'm right on 76, got it nailed right now. Might not be that hard, but certainly putting a lot of work into it, which is what I've got to do. I can fly this by the numbers. The numbers will tell me everything. So I'm coming up on 1,800 feet altitude. which means I can turn crosswind. Even if there's no wind, you call this crosswind. And I may just do the one landing, might be enough for today. That's where you get a little bit older and you don't put yourself under too much pressure. When you're turning, you cannot get too slow. There's lots of things can be dangerous and try to cause you problems. I'm at 2,200 feet now. I'm at my right altitude. I'm going to call. Wahoo, traffic Cessna 385 Lima, student pilot, downwind for runway 02, Wahoo. The student pilot, as Pat said, just lets people know if there's anybody around. They better give me a little bit of a break. I've forgotten Pat's not there. I pretend Pat's there. No, that wasn't our runway. I got to listen to the radio. Carb heat, first set of flaps.
Bravo.
When you put the flaps in, you flare up and you've got to pitch down. And I hadn't been recovering from that properly, and this is the first flight today where I've got this nailed. I'm on 75 knots, so I pitched to the correct, which means I can extend this downwind just a little bit to where I should be, because I've got, well, at the moment, I've got everything under control. If it turned to shit, I would just go around and do it again, so there's nothing really to stress about. I know where I need to turn. Wahoo, traffic, Cessna 385 Lima on base for runway 02, Wahoo. Put in my second set of flaps, pitching for 70. Haven't really got this sorted out properly, but I've got to correct this pattern and square it up. I've got aiming things ahead of me, which is a radio antenna down to my left. I'm getting sweaty hands, which I haven't had for days and days and days, maybe a week or more. I've called my base, so I've got that right. I'm pretty comfortable with my attitude out here. I'm going to put the pappies on to make life a bit easier. Which is 5 blips on your microphone. I know I'm slightly high right now, and that's okay. I'm going to fix that. Just take a little bit of power out. The pappies are telling me, I've got my pappies on, they're telling me I'm high. Turn for final. Cessna 385 Lima on final for runway 02, Wahoo. Now, calling that radio call in the turn gives me a little bit of time here to straighten everything out. I put in my last set of flaps. I am going to just land this. I think I can, it'll be enough stress for one day. I'm a little high right now, but I'm comfortable with that. One of the rules is not to hit anything when you're flying. They do actually mention that, which, and the other thing I'm doing right now is I am messing with my rudders, because my pappies are telling me I'm spot on for where I need to be. I'm wiping a bit of sweat off my hands. Pappies are looking good. The trucks used to freak me out in front of me there, but I've got a little bit more used to them now. I really want to get this nailed right. I'm not going to look at the runway coming in. I'm going to ease some power out. I did a really shitty landing. Oh, bugger. First solo and a shitty landing. I am going to put this on YouTube, guys, because this can happen. It's just bloody stress. I'm going to go back to Pat now. I'm not going to fly again. I'm not going to fly solo again today. I got the plane down